So I picked up an iPad Air 2 for Setup Wars, and it's gonna be a lot easier looking at the pictures since it has a better resolution and just a bigger screen. Who is texting me? What's up guys, it's Ed back again from TechSource and welcome to Setup Wars episode 21, where you submit your desk setup to get featured on the channel and a chance to win 50 bucks. If you guys are new to the series and want to submit your setup, make sure to watch the video linked down below for the instructions and requirements. But with all that said, let the Setup Wars begin. This video is brought to you by G2A, where you can buy super cheap CD keys for any game on any platform. This is where I get all my games from, as well as Windows keys for my monthly PC builds, but I'll leave a link down below so you can see for yourself. As always, all of the gear for these setups will be listed down below, as well as any recommendations that I give in this episode. So with that said, here are your 5 contestants for this week. We have Alvin, Jerri, Kaleb, Luca, and Matt. Congratulations for making it to Setup Wars episode 21. Starting off the show, we have Alvin and the Chipmunks with his elegant ultra-wide setup. We have a 34-inch ultra-wide monitor from LG, and on the desk we have a Microsoft wireless keyboard 800 and a Mad Catz 5 mouse on top of the Razer mouse pad. What kind of a combo is this? Also on the desk we have a pair of Mackie CR4 speakers and a Shure SRH 440 headphones hanging from the pole on the left side. Cable management is immaculate and excellent work with the power strip and running the wires through cable drops. You got those cables on lockdown. I'm also digging the USB hub you have near the right speaker, although I don't know how I feel about that large clump of wires from the mouse. Wouldn't it look better if you routed the cables through the back and into the PC instead of connecting it to that hub? If this was my setup, I would definitely mount the display either on a wall or use a monitor arm to lift it off of the desk to give it a much cleaner look, but that's just my personal recommendation. The only other thing that kind of throws off the balance of your setup is the red colored mouse, but I think your setup looks super clean the way it is, and I'm just nitpicking, but thank you Alvin for entering Setup Wars. Jerri Springer is next up with a single display setup. We have the very popular 27-inch Asus monitor with the gorgeous thin bezels, and this is actually the monitor that everyone keeps asking me about during my PC build videos. It's absolutely amazing. On the desk we have an ASIO MGK1 keyboard and a SteelSeries Rival gaming mouse on top of the Good Gaming extended mousepad. Also on the desk we have a pair of Creative Inspire 2500 speakers and your PS4 off to the right side. This is the second setup featured in this episode that's powered by a laptop instead of an actual desktop PC. Great job with cables, keeping them off the ground, and I'll give you a point for routing the LED strips inconspicuously behind your monitor. You have lots of stuff on your desk, but I guess that's okay since you have a large surface area to work with. But overall, a very organized and dope setup. Thank you Jerri for entering. At number 3 we have Kaleb and his Godzilla speakers setup. Now last week's episode we also had a Kaleb, but for some odd reason I pronounced the name as Kaleb. Next up is Kaleb with his black and red setups. I mean, I know I make fun of names most of the time, but I totally butchered the crap out of his name, so if you're watching this, my sincerest apologies. Anywho, so back to Kaleb's setup. Alright, so let's try this again. So Kaleb has a single 27-inch ROG Swift monitor hooked up to the Amazon mounting arm. On the desk we have a Razer Black Widow keyboard and an EVGA X10 Carbon mouse on top of the Razer Firefly mousepad. Now that's a dope ass mousepad. You can actually change the LEDs to any color you want, so it will always go with your setup. The only downside to this is that you have an extra cable to work with. Of course, we can't forget the center of attention, those enormous speakers on the desk. We have a pair of Definitive Mythos 2 speakers, and on the left side of the desk we have a pair of Beyer Dynamic 990 premium headphones on the Silverstone headphone stand. We also have a pretty dope mic setup. We have the Rode NT-G1 mic hooked up to the SM3 shock mount, which is then attached to the Heil boom arm. Great work with cables, they are hidden neatly away from sight, and I just have to take a closer look at your amazing water-cooled PC that I noticed since the beginning. So we have a 4790K CPU paired with a Titan Z, and I gotta say, amazing work with the cables inside that tiny case, and I would love to see more pictures of this bad boy, so consider submitting this for my PC Wars. This is one of the few unique and very clean setups I've seen on the show. Job well done Kaleb, and thank you for entering. Next up is Luca and his triple monitor setup, which which looks like it's located inside a serial killer's room. There's just too much red in here, even for me, which says a lot. But anyways, moving on, we have 3 different monitors, a 23-inch LG, 24-inch Acer, and a 24-inch Asus monitor. On the desk, we have a wireless keyboard from LG and a wireless mouse from HEMA. Great work with cable management as well. I don't have any complaints there, but you do have a bunch of extra stuff behind those monitors, so maybe putting some of that stuff that you don't use daily in that drawer below to clean up your desk would be a really good idea. I also recommend toning down the red LEDs a bit since it's overpowering the setup, but it definitely has the potential to be a great setup. Thank you, Luca, for entering. Last but not least, we have Matt and his dual display setup. We have 2 24-inch BenQ monitors, a keyboard from Insignia, and the MX Master Mouse from Logitech, both which are wireless. We also have another good gaming mouse pad in this episode. So lots of stuff on the desk. We have a pair of Astro A40s on the A50 stand and a Garmin smartphone stand for the iPhone. Cable management can definitely be improved with some cable drops and wraps since there seems to be a lot going on here. I do like the controller rack you have installed on the side of your desk. I will definitely give you a point for that. Now for the rest of the items on your desk, I would recommend you to pick up a valet tray. Now these things not only look awesome, but it will definitely help you clean up a bunch of stuff from your desk. There are a bunch of options available to better meet your needs, but I did list a few options down below that you should definitely check out. I personally picked up a 10-inch tray that I'm going to use with my IKEA drawers. That way I have compartments to work with. But that does it for this week's episode of Setup Wars. Voting begins now, so make sure you guys drop your comments down below and vote on who has the best desk setup. As always, the voting will end Saturday, and I'll announce the winner on Sunday on my Twitter and Instagram accounts, so make sure you guys are following me there if you want to know who wins. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want me to continue doing Setup Wars every Monday, make sure to hit that like button to show your support. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next video.